Coming up, coming up today on This Is True Really News.
As opposed to coming up yesterday.
Right. Kelsey Hatcher was visiting her obstetrician, and we learn all about the obstetrician visit.
So she's not dating Taylor Swift?
No, this is Kelsey Hatcher, female.
Oh, Travis Kelsey. Sorry.
It's Travis Kelsey. That's
Your son looks a little bit like a smaller version of Jason Kelsey.
Yes, he does. He cut his hair like that because, hey, well, Jason Kelsey's considered the second best looking man around. I kind of look like Jason Kelsey.
Go with it.
Yeah, what the heck?
I'd milk that for all it's worth, dude.
If you like this kind of crap, please like, subscribe, and follow. Leave comments wherever you find us if you feel like it. If you don't, well, don't feel like you have to. And you can send us...
wrong. See, that's what you wishy-washy woke folk.
I am not woke.
Leave your comments, damn it, or we'll come looking for you.
Oh, okay, fine.
And by we, I mean Scott.
Got to get out of the house sometime.
He walks slower than he used to, so you may have to wait. But trust me, he will be definitely threatening when and if he gets there.
I'll give you such a hit. You're going to wish I ain't give you such a hit.
Yeah.
Send email to This Is True Really News at netradio.network. I think that about does it.
Oh, I think we about did it before that.
This is True Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Vercanis. All the news you're about to hear is true.
Really?
As far as you know.
Okay, did we do the long overdue book Return to St. Paul?
Not St. Paul.
A book on famous composers from the St. Paul Public Library is back at the St. Paul Public Library. Well, sort of. It's back, but it's not on display.
Oh.
I'll get to it.
It's quarantined?
So we're talking a book on famous composers.
Sure.
Was more than a century overdue when it was returned recently.
That beats the one we did in Britain was 45 years, the last one we did. Okay.
Titled Famous Composers and Exploring the Lives of Composers such as Bach, Beethoven, and Mozart, the tome turned up while a Hennepin County resident was sorting through a relative's belongings. The library checkout slip shows it was last borrowed in 1919. Wow, my dad was a year old. The St. Paul Digital Library Coordinator, John Larson, said it was the most overdue book he's seen in 25 years. He said there's been a time or two, something has come back, 20, 30 years.
Yeah, we've seen that, yeah.
Nothing that looks like it's been out for some 100 years.
Well,
once every 5 or 10 years, he said, we'll see something that's incredibly overdue. But this
is new.
Larson investigated the book's markings, found that it had entered the library in 1914, their catalog.
In 1914, we took a little trip along with Colonel Jackson down the mighty Mississippi.
Was that when that happened? I thought it was 18.
In 1814, we took a little trip.
But this book wasn't even written yet, so.
November 7th, a date.
The longer you babble, the longer this goes on.
Okay, fine.
Just saying. Entered the library's catalog in 1914, which was when World War I started. That was the year before, though, a fire at the old market hall, which is where the library was located then. Whoosh.
Ooh, it could have been lost to the ages.
160,000 books in the facility's collection. At the time of the fire, a third of the books were checked out. And Larson discovered that made famous composers... Oh, wait, hang on. At the time of the fire, nearly a third of library books were checked out, Larson discovered, period. That made famous composers... I got to read this more. It survived. One of the luckier ones. Yeah. A stamp in 1916 confirmed that it was re-entered into the library's collection, and 3 years later it went off and almost was never seen again. St. Paul's Mayor Melvin Carter joked, because it's a mayor joke.
Yep.
He tweeted that there would be no fine because the library stopped charging late fees in 2019. And I thought, really? And yeah, most every library now has.
Yeah, almost nobody has a fine anymore.
It's just not worth it to them.
Yeah.
During the time period the book was checked out, Larson figures the late fee would have been about a penny a day. So it would have run you, I don't know, $300, $400.
Wow. Still.
I mean, give or take. And now, look at this thing. The book's future is uncertain, he said, because you're not going to put it back in circulation because of its condition. It's rather delicate.
Okay.
It's old.
Yeah.
Expects the library to hang on to it because he said it's reached that point where it's not just an old book, it's an artifact.
They ought to display it in a hermetically sealed.
Or make everyone wear those little cotton glove things.
Ooh, I love that.
I think it's weird when I see the guys at the National Museum for Guns stare.
Yeah, they
Look,
do. They all.
They have to, because
Otherwise,
the guys with newer guns will come and threaten them.
National Post this is from the National Post via Ronnie Tucker. Hey, Ronnie. When Kelsey Hatcher visited her obstetrician for an ultrasound, she smiled when an image of a healthy fetus appeared on the screen. Before leaving, Hatcher asked the nurse for a further examination, though. She said,
"It's a baby after all." You never know until you can actually see the picture.
That's right. And Hatcher had been born, by the way, with a second uterus. That's why she asked the nurse to check out the other one.
I've heard of air in a spare, but that's a little different.
The nurse at the University of Alabama at Birmingham's hospital spread gel on the opposite side of Hatcher's abdomen and went over it with the wand.
I know what's
Meanie,
happen.
tickle you, farson.
Wrong wand.
Oh, sorry. Well, it's the only one I knew that sounded like,
Abracadabra.
an incantation. I couldn't believe what they saw on the screen. Another fetus growing in Hatcher's second uterus.
And the two were punching at each other.
She's, as a matter of fact, she's 100% overbooked. 1 in 1 million women become pregnant with two fetuses in separate uteruses, according to Richard Davis, a maternal fetal medicine specialist treating Hatcher. Since that appointment, Hatcher's doctors have been monitoring a pregnancy unlike any they have witnessed. Hatcher's expecting healthy fraternal twin girls. You ready? You sitting down?
Mm-hmm.
That's some labor-saving device. You're welcome.
There are days I wish I was never born.
In any uterus.
Yeah. Think of it, though. You're the only one in there, 2 uteruses. You're going, wow, we have this whole other room. Could have rented it out.
Let's invite a guest.
At Knott's Berry Farm, Buena Park, California, riders of the Silver Bullet roller coaster were rudely interrupted when a passenger indicated they needed to get off the attraction. According to Fox News, the unnamed guest signaled their need to get off the attraction not long after leaving the station. So now all of us are just wondering which end is in distress. Operators did what they should have.
I'm hoping it's the back end, because if that front end blows, everybody behind him.
Operators stopped the ride. All guests had to be evacuated, following standard park procedure. The roller coaster resumed after some cleaning about 30 minutes later.
So
Oops.
We don't know which end, do we?
They stopped the coaster fast, but, sometimes.
Couple of quick police stories for you. We didn't have animal control at our military base, so the MPs and the Department of Defense police were the ones who dealt with strays and such. One day, one of the busiest roads on the base was completely blocked because a huge snapping turtle took up residence in the middle of the road and refused to move for anyone. If you've ever seen a big snapping turtle, you understand.
They are owly and
big. Their necks are really long, despite what it looks like.
Territorial.
Yeah.
If they don't want you there, you will have to leave now or get nipped.
They can bite their own tail. Let me just tell you right now. And they look like a dinosaur or a Klingon or something. Anyway, one of the
you haven't watched Leo yet, have you?
No. One of the DOD police officers used his nightstick to push the turtle off the road. Just as they got to the grass, this huge snapping turtle shoots his neck out at lightning speed and grabs the nightstick out of the DOD cop's hands and starts waddling off into the woods. 2 seconds later, I hear the squad leader key into the microphone and say, 1-1, be advised. Suspect is now armed and attempting to flee. And finally, I had to arrest...
Never mess with special investigations. I'm just saying.
I had to arrest a ghost once. Poor lady with mental health problems called us saying the ghost had broken into her flat and wouldn't leave. So we fake arrested it and carted it out of the flat so she could relax in peace. She was very happy with us. And you guys are saints.
Well done.
This is true, really news. Send email to TITR@netradio.network.